For this project, we need some watered down tempera paints, a Sharpie, a paintbrush, a half sheet of white and red paper, a piece of white paper, and a color for the background. I'm also covering my workspace with an extra piece of paper to keep Sharpie and paint off the table. To begin, grab a regular size Sharpie and start to draw your trees. Don't forget to add little bumps and wiggles as you go. I wanted to add a few knobs to make it look like my branches were sawed off the tree. Once your trees are drawn, use an ultrafine Sharpie to add little swirls into the branches that were sawed off of your tree and add some hash marks on your tree for implied bark lines. This will create some nice visual texture. When you're done, if you decide to go back in and add some trees in between your other ones, you can do that. I decided to add a couple more trees peeking in from the edges of my paper. After all of your visual texture is drawn, it's time to add the splatter paint. For this, put your paper in the middle of your scratch piece. Use the watered down tempera and a paintbrush to fling paint onto the paper. Please be careful. Do not hit the brush super hard on your hand or it will fling everywhere. I like to load my brush up, then tap it against my hand to help flick the paint onto the paper. You can also drizzle the paint on as well. Try to avoid leaving huge puddles of paint because it'll take a long time to dry. When you're happy with your background, set it aside to dry. Now we're going to make the heart. Clean up your area before doing this. First, we're going to make a template so that we don't have a crease line in the center of our heart with the red paper. Take your half sheet of white and fold it in half. If you want your heart to be short and wide, fold it in half in the landscape position. If you want your heart to be a little more tall and skinny, fold it in half while your paper is in portrait like I did. Draw a half of a heart on the crease. If you don't draw on the crease, you will have two separate pieces, which we can still make work. We'll just tape them together. After you draw half of the heart, cut it out. Open it up to see if you're happy and trim to make any adjustments if needed. Once the heart is cut out, go ahead and glue it onto the background. It's okay if your background is still a little bit wet. Just be careful not to smear your black paint. The second part of this project will require a glue stick, a Sharpie, a background piece, your project, and some oil or chalk pastel. The first thing we're going to do is glue this onto our background. Put glue stick all around the 4 edges and an X in the middle to make sure you have a good stick. I like to turn my paper over and rub it from the back so that I don't smudge the front. Flip it over and sign your name in the bottom corner with a Sharpie. Next, we're going to add our chalk pastel or oil pastel. Since the black will smudge your fingers, I like to do the white first. You can add a little bit of a highlight in the corner and down the side if you wish. Next, we're going to take the black and trace around the outer edge of your heart. Try to only keep it on the red. Then we're going to smudge it with our finger to blend it into the background. I smudged the black from the heart onto the background. You can do it this way or trace your finger around the heart to smear it in that way. This part can be very messy, but it looks so awesome.